Start off with Darren first. Darren, you're a regular visitor to Dubai. But, under different circumstances this week with the inaugural Dubai Open on the Asian Tour.
Yeah, most definitely. It's always great, first and foremost, to be back in Dubai. We've got so many fantastic golf courses here, and we're playing another one this week. And with the Mena Tour, what they're doing, developing golf, giving more young guys opportunities to play, and partnering up with the Asian Tourists, and there's going to be another great event again this week.
Okay, and I believe you've had a look at the golf course here, designed by a close friend of yours.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about it?
I think he designed it when he was hitting the ball a bit further than he is now. But, thankfully, the tees are going to be moved up a little bit, I think. But no, the course is fabulous. It's going to be a stern test even off if we do move up some tees. The greens is typical Ernie in that the difficulty is not quite so much in the tee shot, it's on the shots into the greens and indeed around the greens. And because his signatures, his short game has always been that good, and whoever wins this week, the short game for that will be very good.
Okay, thank you, Darren. Bobby, I think we had a quick chat yesterday as well about the significance of the Dubai Open this week in your quest for top 50 finish and a place in the Masters. Yeah, just talk us through.
Yeah, well, it was a plan we made nearly 3 months ago now. We sat down at the PJ, and this was a tournament that we looked at that was right at the end of the year, and it could always come down to this if I was going to get top 50, which it's nice for a plan to come together. It's nice to have the opportunity to come here and play, and Asian Tour's getting stronger, Mena Tour's getting stronger, and I think it's just another opportunity to put a game against some great players, and luckily enough for me, I've got a chance to get in the Masters at the end of the week.
You spoke about having the chance to get to know Lee and play with Lee last week at the last 2 rounds of the Thailand Golf Championship. But this week you've had a chance to spend with Darren as well. I mean, this must be a good learning curve for you in your young career.
Yeah, I think I'm just very fortunate to be, part of ISM, where we've got Lee and Darren who have obviously grown up together, and they've been very successful in their careers, and they're always, they're two of the most willing people to help you. And I've just had a great 45 minutes with Darren, and he's always, I always feel comfortable to ask him questions. It's nice to have somebody like that. It's nice to have a couple of guys that are going to help you through and give you bits of information that you could never get from practicing on your own. You can never get from just wandering around a golf course. And all in all, it can only be a massive advantage to me. And like I say, I feel very fortunate that I have the opportunity to have these guys on my side.
Great. Okay, let's take some questions from the guys. Go on. No.
Tom, is it pressure this week for you? You spoke about the plan coming to fruition, but how much pressure do you actually feel?
Well, yeah, the plans came together so far, so far so good. But obviously, I'd like it to be a 17-man field, and that would make it a lot easier for me. But it's obviously in my mind, and it was a massive goal at the start of the year to get to the top 50, and I went to the Masters to watch this year, and so it's one of the best tournaments in the world, isn't it? It's the one you grow up watching. I mean, it's not the end of the world if I don't get in, because there's obviously another cut-off further down the line, but I'd like to get it done. And but I think it's another thing to focus your mind, isn't it? It's another challenge mentally to see if you can take that out of your mind or play with something else on your mind. They're all learning experiences, if you like, and like I say, it's great to have the opportunity to get there. To be honest, it's great to be able to know that I've got 4 rounds of golf, and if I play well, I'm in the Masters next year.
Darren, Tiger Woods said it'd be a blast if you were the Ryder Cup captain.
Did he?
Yeah. Let's say, what do you think about that? I think that's something you're thinking about.
Well, obviously it's something that I'd love to do, but it's not something you petition for. And my name has been put forward. I'm in the running for it. I would love to do it, but that's up to the committee to decide. And if best player in the world for a long time says it would be a blast, that's high praise. And I think it might cause a bit of a stare. I've asked him to be one of the vice captains as good, and so I think I'll better enough. But Tiger's a good friend, so we've known each other. There's a few other guys in the reckoning for it over there, but the European captain is going to Hazeltine. They've got big footsteps to follow after what Paul Mena achieved, and it isn't how good a captain was. But whenever the European Tour decide, I'm sure it will be a great thing.
Darren, I wondered about your schedule really. I guess when you started playing it was European Tour and that was the focus, and now it's got so global. You've got Sunshine Tour, Asian Tour, European Tour, PGA Tour. How do you work it all out, and when do you sit down and do all that?
I do absolutely nothing. That slightly larger than life gentleman sitting behind to your left, he decides everything more or less. And we say it, at this stage of my career, it's different for Tommy, you know, as you said, when I was starting out, the European Tour was my home, and then with Ken Schofield and George O'Grady, they both give the European Tour players much more opportunity to play around the world. And because of that, you see European Tour now playing in Asia, playing all over the world. And indeed, I've been a member of the PGA Tour for a long time, so I've played everywhere around the world. So I'm slightly in the fortunate position now where I play where I want to play, where I'd like to play. You know, I have some commitments to fulfill, but I play where I want to play and where I enjoy playing. And obviously, this is one of the places, one of my favourite places in the world where I like coming back to. And but Tommy's got those sort of decisions all ahead of him. He's going to be he's going to be a proper superstar with the game that he's got. He's going to keep going forward if he listens to me in the league. If he doesn't, he could be back to tour school. But anyway, he'll be fine. But those are the decisions that it gets more difficult for Chubby to then try and work out a schedule for the likes of the younger guys. But for me, you know, I've always enjoyed playing in America. The American crowds have always been very good to me and very kind to me over there. And indeed, everywhere around the world, you know, Asia's been good to me everywhere I've gone. You know, I've been very fortunate. I've been a pro on tour for what 25 years now, and played everywhere. So you know, it goes in quick when you're out here on tour, but certainly I've had a great time.
It's just it's interesting, especially when the race to Dubai comes to an end, and then you sort of see the sun go off to Thailand and here to South Africa, and it's just interesting how the choices are made different for different players.
It is, and I think when you get that, you know, the European Tour season started again, you have guys that go for the same reason I said, they go and play when they have options to go and play at certain tournaments where they like the golf course, where they play well in the past. But you know, it's a more recent thing where the schedule has become more and more chaotic and more busy. It used to be when I started. We'd start here in Dubai. Was it the first one? It would almost have been the first one, wasn't it? In Dubai, and then we'd finish with the Volvo Masters or something like that in Valderrama end of October. And then we had a couple of tournaments, but not that much. But now it's almost every week. So it's a very tough thing when, especially when you're at Tommy's stage of his career, where you're watching your world rankings, you're progressing up the world rankings, and where you play in the fields that play there, and to get the points and to accumulate points to get yourself in there and keep yourself in there. And a lot of those decisions have to be made as well as to regards to where you play in terms of the strength of the fields. So it's a much more difficult thing to schedule than people actually realise, because there's many factors that go into it. But that's why Chubby's such a good manager, and that's why he's you know, ISM are as good as they are, because you know, they look at things very closely to see what is going to be best. And it's been a difficult week for Chubby this week, because it's Tommy and Danny Willett are right both in the edge, two great ISM players, so they're right on the edge of it. So you know, he's always trying to balance the thing up, and thankfully it's him trying to do it and not us.
Sure.
Right. Darren, what's your motivation now? You've won a major, you've achieved so much in the game. What brings you to events like this, and what keeps you going, and what drives you? What are your ambitions still?
Well, first and foremost, I'm here because of David Spencer and Mohammed. You know, they've been friends of mine for a long time, and they kindly asked me to come along and play. And you know, Golf in Dubai do such a wonderful job with all the tournaments that they sponsor, the ladies, the Dubai Desert Classic, this one, the Mena Tour, and different reasons as well. You know, they're along with Golf Citizen, they're actively involved in breast cancer, and I'm trying to promote that and stuff. And it's better to give me an interesting stat last night. He said 28% of female deaths in the UAE are died of breast cancer, and that's an amazing stat. And that will be reduced by 50% of early detection. And I've got my breast cancer thing. It's over there. But, you know, it's something that's close to my heart for obvious reasons, and you know, it's because of efforts that spelling and Mohammed do that makes that difference. So, you know, I'm here because I want to support them, because they've supported me throughout my career. But in terms of what I want to do, I want to play. You know, I love the game and I hate the game. Of late, I've hated the game a bit more than I love the game, but that's the game of golf. That's professional sport. You know, it's not always pitching up in beautiful venues such as here and going out and having a good time on a golf course. It's our job, and sometimes we love it and sometimes we don't. You know, if you play well, it's brilliant. If you struggle a little bit, it's not so much fun, but you've got to keep battling on for the good times, and that's why I'm still doing it. Because I love the game, and I always will love the game. And Tommy just mentioned there as well, it's great to be in the opportunity to be in the position where I can maybe offer the likes of Tommy a little bit of advice, only because I've been through it all. I've seen every coach in the world. I've seen every mental coach. I think I've destroyed 90% of them. But I've seen everybody there is to see at this stage of my career. So it's nice to be able to give back, and especially with somebody of Tommy's talent coming through, who's going to be, as I say, going to be another superstar. So to be able to help him is great. So if he listens, he'll be fine.
Darren, just where would Ryder Cup captaincy rank in your list of achievements if you were to achieve it?
Well, the Ryder Cup captaincy, it's you're asked. It's a huge honour. You're asked to do it. It's one of those sort of things. So until such times, if I am lucky enough to be asked, then that will be great. But in the meantime, you know, I'm just going to keep on playing and see what happens. But certainly, as I've said all along, I'd love to do it, but it's not something that you ask for. It's something that the committee decide if you're a viable candidate, and if so, one of the they make a decision based on who they think is going to be best. And you know, as I say, I'd love to do it, and if it's not me, you know, I'd be it'll be a great captain going to give it to you now.
Tommy, I wondered, as you play more and more with the greats of the game, and you're learning little bits from them, I wonder what specifically you take from Darren.
One of the things
not to do.
One of the things that I did from a very young age, I'm sure he told me to do it, I had a little black book, so not with nasty people and numbers and stuff like that, there are good people, etc. But I had a little book that I always had in my golf bag that I kept notes of every lesson that I've had, every tip. So I've got a couple of volumes of it. So if I saw somebody doing, hitting a shot that how to do that, I can't do that, or what to do, I would always ask them afterwards. And it was like Sevi, Farlow, Greg Norman, everybody, Woozy, Bernard Langer, everybody's in that little book that have gone and have tips and written them down, and I still go back and look at them. And it's great to see Tommy's got the same thing in his bag as well. You know, he's always told me the same thing. So not only does he want to learn, but he's doing the right thing, the right way. We forget. So you know, he writes everything down. So
That's a book waiting to be published.
No, that's a personal book from private things that I've gone and asked people to do. But it's a wonderful reference point, and the fact that he's so keen, and you know, and wants to do the same sort of thing, because you know, I could go back through it. I look at it like that little tip that I've had from maybe my first year in tour was end of 1990. I might have stuff in there from 1992 that I go back and look at and say, oh, that's what Sevi said, or that's what Greg Norman said, or blah blah blah. But you know, the fact that Tommy's doing it already shows his desire and determination to get to where he wants to be.
I don't think enough people ask players really, and I think it's just something that it seems incredible to me that you wouldn't ask. To be honest, we all want to get better and you all want to reach to be as good as you can be. And when you've got players like Darren that are sitting right next to you at a dinner table and you want to know something, why wouldn't you ask?
Do you think some are afraid to ask?
Maybe. I think maybe asking the first time is the hardest bit, and then once they say yeah, well, help, it's you kind of free up. But you know, it's just one of them things. You don't want to regret not asking, and then spending a year down the line, you're still struggling with the same thing, or you still can't hit that shot. And then, like I said, I've just had 45 minutes with Darren there, and it's something that I can practice on for a little while, and I'll practice rounds with him, and he'll keep nagging me until I get it right. But just having somebody to help like that is a massive bonus for me.
Lee's the same way. Lee, wants to help the young ISM kids as well. And, it's our way of giving back to what the game's going to do to us.
Is that what you felt when you were younger as well?
Of course, same as Tommy. Yeah, I was.
Were you afraid to ask?
Yeah, I was nervous to go and ask. I was asking some of the icons of the game. How did they do this? How did they do that? And as Tommy said, you pluck up a bit of courage, you ask, and you say, oh, this is not too bad. I've had one or two people say no, but You know, that's kind of the way it is. You know, it's everybody's in there. Tigers, everybody's in there, bits and pieces. But if you don't want to make yourself better at this game, then you're in the wrong job. If you don't want to put yourself in a position where it really hurts, where if you mess up coming down the stretch and you don't learn from it, then you're in the wrong job. And you can only get better by learning from other people that have been there, maybe before you've been, a few times before you've helped people. So that's why I've always asked people to pick the breaks, and I still do.
Who said no? Who refused to?
Actually, one of the good things is that I'm 46 and I'm not stupid enough to answer that question. That's called experience.
Right, guys. For me, Darren, thanks for joining us, and
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You